Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday morning, May 5, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe. You guys have been doing so well for the past week regarding liking these videos. I'm actually shocked that there are so many persons watching me, and I'm actually grateful. Also, I must apologize for the lack of posts yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't even get a chance to post on my social media platforms to confirm the afternoon rainfall that was predicted for northern Jamaica. And I didn't even get a chance to post a video yesterday evening. We know we normally do these videos in the evening, and as you can see right now, it's 5:42 a.m. on Sunday morning. So I was very busy yesterday. So I had to fix like about 40 computers in preparation for activities this week at my place of work. And we know these things go, sometimes we get busy. Either way, I'm here today to keep you all updated with what's happening on the weather. Feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. As usual, we know the entire Atlantic basin is being dominated by these ridges of high pressure that are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see that we still have a lot of troughing taking place across portions of the Caribbean. This surface map is 100% to scale because there's definitely a lot more troughing taking place even across the area near Jamaica, but we're not seeing it being depicted on this map. Either way, if we take a look at the visible satellite images, although the sun isn't up as yet, we can still make out the clouds associated with the trough as represented by these whitish colors, especially the ones being blown up towards the northeast by the upper level wind shear. So even yesterday, the eastern Caribbean was still being plagued by all of those clouds, showers, and thunderstorm activity, and that was actually predicted. The troughs are definitely going to be lingering even up to mid-week, even across Jamaica. So there might even still be some more isolated flash flooding taking place in some spots. We'll be talking more about the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in Friday's video about the weather across Jamaica for Saturday, even although it's Sunday now. So it was stated that afternoon rainfall would have affected sections of some eastern, some eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica, across sections of northern parishes in Jamaica. And we know eastern, central, and western parishes. We're talking about those parishes in the Courier Surrey for eastern parishes. So Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. We're talking about the parishes in the county of Middlesex when we're talking about central parishes. So St. Anne, St. Mary, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester. And for western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And we also mentioned in the post from yesterday that it would have been affecting sections of northern Jamaica especially. And we know northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? Firstly, we actually had some rainfall in the morning as the Cuban Doppler radar images were posted on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. They were also posted on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss, because we don't even make them here on our YouTube platform. All we post are the big videos. So we saw that we had the Cuban Doppler radar images showing some amount of rainfall affecting sections of some northern parishes in the morning. This was about 4:35 a.m. in the morning, and the thing is that rainfall was actually predicted on the Euro and the GFS models, but it was more so out to sea. I didn't see much consensus in that rainfall coming onshore, but I guess it actually was close enough that it indeed happened. So northern Jamaica got morning rainfall, and then they actually even got afternoon rainfall. Even although I didn't get a chance to post about the afternoon rainfall, um, the infrared satellite images that I could find for the last couple of hours, they actually show that yes, we had a buildup of clouds across northern Jamaica, and then the high cold cloud tops were being blown off towards the east northeast. And just to confirm the rainfall across northern Jamaica, even on This Is a Blast Instagram page, they showed heavy rainfall causing flooding to sections of where Fairview in Mobay, that's in the parish of St. James. And where's that located? On the north coast. So they definitely got nailed. I was in Kingston yesterday. It was partly cloudy for the most part. I heard some thunder in the distance, but we didn't have any rainfall at all where I was in downtown Kingston. Either way, we even had a comment here, even although it's not on my page. ODN underscore Chris, is this today, Saturday, May 4, 2024? And then another person, that's Faro Marek, stating, yeah, rain a be serious. Even another commenter, Shan underscore Sesame, stating, happy me follow me mind, cause to how me would have stuck down there. So guys, we see what's happening right here. Flood waters, cars going through the flood waters. When you are, coming up on flooded roadways, you mustn't drive through. We know these cars are easy to shut off. We don't want to be in a situation like that. It doesn't take much of a depth in water for the cars to start floating. Trust me, these cars are not invincible at all. So always take necessary precautions. Let all the water run off. Do not go through it. You know how expensive these cars can be, especially in this day and age. So turn around, don't drown whenever you come up on flooded roadways. So that indeed confirms the rainfall that we got on Saturday afternoon across northern Jamaica. As it relates to what we're seeing right now on the infrared satellite images, let me reload so I have the latest images. So let me see, the time is now 5:49 a.m. So it's still showing the last image as of 5:35 a.m. right here. 10:35 UTC is 5:35 a.m. Jamaica time. And what do we see? We see some rainfall right there to the north of the island. We see the high cold cloud tops being represented by the blues, the greens, the grays, not to mention the sparkling white dust that indicates some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely have some thunderstorm activities taking place to the north of Jamaica as we speak. And the Cuban Doppler radar images confirm this. This image, latest image, as of 6:40 a.m. Cuba time, but it's actually 5:40 a.m. Jamaica time. And we even see that some of this rainfall is even affecting sections of the north coast, so sections of St. Anne, maybe St. Mary getting in on the action, maybe even coastal areas of Portland. So yes, we thought there's thunderstorm activity to the north of the island, but we also saw some amount of gray colors. If we go back to the satellite images, we see the grayish colors right there rubbing the coast of, let's say, St. Anne and St. Mary. So it's not all about the high cold cloud tops. We know these milky white colors that represent the cloud cover can bring about some amount of rainfall as well, which is why we need the visible satellite images. But as we see, the sun isn't up as yet as of this time. Either way, more rainfall to plague northern Jamaica. They've been getting it since the year started, through the cold fronts, even yesterday morning and yesterday afternoon. Let's see what unfolds today. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, considering that it's still early in the morning, the sun isn't up as yet. So we have 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Sunday. When we calculate that, that's 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows that represent up to 1 to maybe almost 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And what are the normal temperatures for the month of May across Jamaica? When we take a look at this bar graph, the normal temperatures for the month of May are about 89 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 89 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31 degrees Celsius. So if we should be getting up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures for today's forecast at 1 p.m. on Sunday, it should be anywhere from 31 to 33 degrees Celsius at most. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and whites within those reds. And we can definitely see that there's a lot of moist air across the Caribbean, and we're indeed grateful for that. It explains all the troughing, it explains all the cloud cover and the rainfall. We don't want to see any of these reds and yellows that represent not only some dry air, especially across the Mediterranean region, but we know it represents a lot of Saharan and dust. And to confirm this, let us take a look at the Saharan dust forecast, because it's starting to enter the Caribbean. Look at all of these browns that represent the Saharan dust, stretching all the way from Africa across the Mediterranean region into the Caribbean. Definitely sections of northeastern South America and the eastern Caribbean are being plagued right now. But for 2 p.m. today, Jamaica right here should be in the clear, but as we can see, all of this is pushing westward, so Jamaica might be affected by some of the Saharan dust later this week. As relates to the wave forecast for today, we can see that we have more so of these blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right that represent anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights, and we see that on both the Euro and the GFS models. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all. We see more of a mixture of those darker shades of, let's say, some bluish greens and some brighter greens that we can see by the key on the bottom right that represents anywhere from 10 to 15 knot winds, maybe even gusting to 20 knots in some spots. And we also see the blues across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica that we know represent where all of the air is going to be piling up across the island later on today. So we might just have some cumulus clouds building up to the mid levels of the atmosphere, bring some rainfall to inland areas, and then possibly making it up to thunderstorm status, cumulonimbus clouds that give us the lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, on the infrared satellite images. And with the upper level winds coming in from the southwest for today, that might just favor more of those high cold cloud tops and that rainfall affecting sections of some northern parishes again. So yes, eastern, central, and western parishes could get in on some more rainfall, especially considering where that air is going to be piling up. But most of those higher cold cloud tops are clearly going to be blowing off to the north, bringing more of that rainfall and overcast skies conditions to sections of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And if we actually take a look at the 1 hour total forecast to confirm this, we can see that this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. When we calculate that, that's about 6 a.m. Jamaica time right now. And as we could see by the key on the, well, as we could see by the time, It's 5:56 a.m. now, so it's almost 6 a.m. and we're already seeing that rainfall that is being predicted right now. Both the Euro and the GFS are showing the blues that represent rainfall close to the north coast, even affecting sections of the north coast. And we even just saw it just now. The latest infrared satellite images showing the cloud cover across the north, showing the rainfall brushing St. Anna and St. Mary. So it's already coming through even as we speak. So that's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 6 a.m. Jamaica time. Skipping ahead now to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time. What do we see? We see the blues that represent rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica on both the Euro and the GFS malls. And remember what I said, with the upper level winds coming in from the southwest, it could favor more of that rainfall to be on the north coast side than on the south coast side, which explains even this white here area across sections of southern Manchester and Clarendon. So definitely the north coast is going to be plagued with more of the rainfall, but it's going to be plaguing sections of eastern, central, western parishes. So maybe some northern areas of some southern parishes, so northern St. Thomas, northern Kingston and St. Andrew, northern St. Catherine, northern Clarendon, northern Manchester, northern St. Elizabeth for sure. Look at these dark shades of blues right there. And even northern Westmoreland. And the thing is, this rainfall is expected to linger even into the evening hours. Look at this. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 5 p.m. Jamaica time. And what do we see? We still see that rainfall plaguing sections of the island represented by the blues. So some of this afternoon rainfall could linger into the early evening hours as well, or into the late afternoon hours as well. And we're indeed grateful for this. Eastern, Central, and Western Jamaica are going to be getting more rainfall, even although it's going to be biased across Northern Jamaica. We're grateful, and both the accumulated precipitation forecast maps confirm this. It's not 100% in terms of consensus, because as we can see, Eastern Jamaica seems to be getting more of that rainfall on the Euromal GFS, showing that rainfall widespread across the island. Euro showing up to 0.34 of an inch of rainfall across the east. GFS showing up to 0.53 of an inch of rainfall across central Jamaica. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, rain is in the forecast today. Keep in mind, by the way, that these maps are both showing up to 3Z on Monday. When you calculate that, that's about 10 p.m. on Sunday. So this is all the rainfall expected today. We're indeed grateful that it's going to be raining. We usually receive up to 213 millimeters of rainfall during the month of May across Jamaica. So yes, we'll take it. Another day of rain somewhere in Jamaica, even although not all areas are going to be getting it. We're indeed grateful that something is being done about the drought that some areas are currently experiencing. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So let me reload these images. Hopefully the sun is out and showing across portions of the Eastern Caribbean. So we can see, as of this morning, not much taking place at all. Some cloud cover, especially that high cold cloud top being blown off towards the northeast aloft, and definitely have some thunderstorm activity here and there across sections of the Greater Antilles. We can also see a lot of cloud cover showers and thunderstorm activity across Northern and South America. As usual, that area is prone to that kind of activity, especially considering that they're in the intertropical convergence zone, where the air from the northern hemisphere meets the air from the southern hemisphere, and it causes, some amount of cloud cover building and rainfall. That's, normal. So living right here it's just a blast for some of these people. It rains a lot of thunderstorm activity takes place. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see that there's not much taking place right now. we do see some amount of greens that represent rainfall across section of the Leeward Islands, especially to the east of there, to the east of Dominica, to the east of Guadeloupe, to the east of Antigua and Barbuda. Some of this rainfall might even just make it on land in some spots, maybe some hit or miss showers here and there. As relates to what we're seeing on the Barbados radar, let me reload these images so that I have the latest. We can see that we have some dots of hit or miss showers right there to the east of Barbados, some right there passing to the south of Barbados from east to west, maybe to affect sections of the Grenadine Islands, maybe sections of Grenada, Tobago getting in on the action, and maybe some of this rainfall could affect sections of Barbados later on today. Taking a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see where we have some amount of rainfall right now plaguing the northeastern portions of the Dominican Republic, sections of northwestern Venezuela right there getting in on some amount of rainfall, and we can also see that rainfall that we just saw on the visible satellite images affecting sections of Suriname and French Guyana. I wish we had Doppler radar coverage of the entire year, but we know how expensive Doppler radars are. I don't even want to talk about the one for Jamaica that's not working right now. Alright, let us see what's happening for the temperature forecast for today. This map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And what do we see? The temperatures across the Caribbean, well, for the central to eastern Caribbean, should be above average, where we see these yellows and oranges that we can see by the key on the right represent even up to 3, maybe even up to 4 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, while it's the Western Caribbean that should be getting in on these gray colors that represent average temperatures. Way above normal temperatures in store for a section of Central America, as we can see by those reds. Above normal temperatures for the central and eastern United States. Below normal temperatures for the Midwest right here, as we can see by those blues. As it relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Sunday, we can see that the Saharan dust is definitely going to be plaguing sections of the Eastern Caribbean. So anywhere from Suriname, French Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, sections of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, especially where we see these darker shades of brown. We know that some hazy skies are coming your way. It could even trigger some respiratory illnesses in some people. So please take necessary precautions. Please have your meds ready just in case your asthma or your sinusitis is triggered. Some of this might even make it up to the Leeward Islands as well. And the thing is, all of this is pushing westward, so it will definitely make it to the ABC Islands and eventually sections of Jamaica and maybe even sections of Central America as well. As relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, well, for today, sorry, we can see that we have the blues still plaguing the Caribbean that represent anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights, as we can see by the key on the bottom right. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all. Both the Euro and the GFS malls, if they're going to load. Alright, there we have it. So both the Euro and the GFS malls are showing those bluish greenish colors that we can see by the key on the bottom right. That represents anywhere from 10 to 15 knots at most, and we can see the general flow is from the east, maybe a bit from the southeast, and even curving to the northwest across the Gulf of Mexico, all courtesy of these ridges of high pressure that are sending the trade winds to us. But what about the meat of the matter? What about the rainfall forecast now? Let us see what's happening. Both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus. Look at this. Both maps are showing the rainfall across the very same spot. And where do we see that rainfall? Let's highlight it. So we can see section of central to eastern Cuba getting in a small amount of rainfall today. Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, sections of the Leeward Islands, and maybe St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, sections of the southern Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. Even if we look southward, we can see some of that rainfall as well to affect sections of the ABC Islands. They don't normally get rainfall, so it's good to see that they're gonna be getting some rainfall. Sections of El Salvador might get in on the action. Section of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia as usual, Venezuela, section of Trinidad, not so much Tobago, but Tobago getting in on the isolated shore as we speak. Sections of Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana to get in on some amount of rainfall as well. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.